When I write a song, I try and think in certain terms.
Yes,
one would be perspective, which is how you look at something, whether you look at it from up close or whether you look at it from far away. Another thing that concerns me a lot is the geometry of a song. And I guess when you talk about geometry, then you're also talking about relationships. And sometimes they're between people and sometimes it's between things.
Today I am a small blue thing.
To me, a song has its own geometry. Like a song like Small Blue Thing is a round song with its own surface, its own feeling to it. It's smooth and cool and round and blue. That's why it's called Small Blue Thing, and those are the qualities about that song that I wanted to put in the melody and also the words. I think something that really concerns me a lot in songwriting is I like uncovering points of view that haven't been written about before. It's one of my favorite things. To me, there's no point in being a songwriter if you're going to cover old ground, if you're going to write about what other people have written about before. In that way, Small Blue Thing, I think, is also an unusual. To me, that's a love song. Most people would not think that if you went up to someone and said, "Today I'm a small blue thing," that this would be anyone's version of a love song either. I think I try and make the songs as clear as I can, just because I think communicating is difficult enough in life without making things deliberately mystic or deliberately esoteric. So I think in my songs I'm always trying to be as clear and straightforward as I can, and I try and use simple language in that way also. Although I still get a lot of confusion. I mean, people will say, well, what is this song about? Or what do you mean by today I'm a small blue thing? Or like, why do you feel like a small blue thing? Or, you know, this kind of thing.
Made of china, made of glass. I am cool and smooth and curious. I never blink. I am turning in your hand, turning in your hand.
So, once upon a time, I was doing a radio show, and someone called in to ask me a question. And this is not unusual. This happens all the time. But this one guy said to me, "Miss Vega, I'd like to ask you a question, and I don't think you've heard this question before." And I was skeptical. So I said, "Go ahead. What question do you have?" And he said to me, "What kind of piece of fruit or vegetable would you like to be?" Yeah, so I was kind of surprised. And I said, "I'm not that kind of woman." I said, "I enjoy being a human being." I said to him, "and my fantasies do not run in that fruit and vegetable direction. When I do have fantasies, it's not about being a grapefruit or an onion." So I wondered what there was that could have provoked this kind of question. And then suddenly I thought of this next song, and I thought to myself that if I could be a small blue thing, I could be a cherry or a grape of some kind.
Small Blue Thing, which again is a love song, even though I think it's an unconventional one. And basically it talks about being in a kind of a mood, and it answers the question, if I were to be a small blue thing, what kind of small blue thing would I be?